All right, welcome back. This is a 1.10 discussion for Math 126 on lines. There were a couple of questions asked, so we'll start. Number 5 says, find the equation of the line with a slope of 3 that goes through 4, 2. Okay. All right, and we wanted in y equals mx plus b. And y equals mx plus b is the slope-intercept form, right? Where m is the slope, which was given to us, right? So right off the cuff, I know that the equation is going to be y equals 3, because that's my slope, times x plus b, right? Whatever equation this is, that b is going to be whatever number works for every single solution to this line. And I have a solution. I have an x and a y, right? So recall that this ordered pair is, of course, x comma y. And I can plug in x and y into this equation to solve for b. So make sure that 4 goes into x and 2 goes into y. And if I do that, then I get 2 equals 3 times x, which is 4 in this case, plus b. And by plugging in that x and y into here, I can solve for b. And once I have that, once I have m and once I have b, I'm done. That's all I need, right? So this is 2 equals 3 times 4 is 12, plus b, minus 12 from both sides, and I get negative 10 is equal to b, right? And that's all I need. I need m, I need b, and if I get that, then I can write my solution, and that solution is y equals 3, because that's my slope, x, plus b, which is negative 10, so minus 10. And there's our equation. All right, let's look at number 6. Six says, find the equation of the line that passes through the point 2, negative 2. That is parallel to the line 2x plus y equals minus 16 equals 0. All right, so for two lines to be parallel, that means they have the same slope. Therefore, with this line right here, I just want to figure out what its slope is. And that's the only thing that I care about for this line. Everything else, I don't care. All I want is the slope, because that's what I need, right? So I'll solve for y. I'll subtract 2x from both sides. At the same time, I'll add 16 to both sides. That leaves me with y on the left-hand side equals negative 2x plus 16. Right? And that's it. That's all I care about because I can pick out my slope. It's in slope-intercept form, so that tells me m is negative 2 for this line. But it's also the line's slope that I'm trying to create because I'm trying to be parallel to it. But again, once I get this slope, the rest of this equation I don't care about, especially that 16. I don't want it, I don't need it, because I'm not using the same line. It's a different line that just happens to have the same slope. But I have now a slope and a point, and so we're just like problem number 5, right? And so I come in here and I say, well, I've got this y equals mx plus b, but I know m is negative 2, so I'm going to write it as y equals negative 2x plus b. And I just need to figure out what b is, and I do that by plugging in my x and my y. Negative 2 for y, positive 2 for x, and then just solve this for b. So that is -2 equals -4 plus b. So if I add 4 to both sides, that gives me 2 is equal to b. And then of course we have to write our answer. That answer is of course the y equals mx plus b with m and b plugged in. So m is -2, x plus b, which is 2, and that's my final answer. There we have it. Okay, let's look at 7. Seven is find the equation of a line that has an x-intercept of 5. Right. So if it has an x-intercept of 5, that's telling us that we have the point 5, 0. Right. And it has a y-intercept of 7, and if it's a y-intercept, then I have the point 0, 7, right? That's what it means for these things to be intercepts. Is an x-intercept happens when y is 0, a y-intercept happens when x is 0. So I have 2 points. I don't have a slope, but I can use these 2 points to figure out a slope by using that slope formula, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Right? And it doesn't matter which point I call x2 or x1, y1. So I'll just start here, x1, y1, because it was the first one, and I'll call the bottom one x2 and y2. It just really means the x value of 1 point, the y value of that 1 point, and the x value of 0.2, the y value of 0.2. So I just plug this stuff in here. y2 is 7. y1 is 0, so 7 minus 0, over x2, which is 0, minus x1, which is 5, and so I get 7 over -5, or -7/5. Right? That's my slope. And now again, I've reduced this down to problem 5 again, right? I have a slope, and I need a point. Well, I've got 2 to pick from. It doesn't matter which one I use. I can use them both. But it's going to turn into this. Y equals m, which I know is -7/5. X plus b. Plug in one or the other. It doesn't matter. But in fact, we already know what b is because I have a y-intercept of 7. And so, in fact, I know the answer because I know this b is my y-intercept, which is 7. So my final answer is -7/5 x plus 7. And there we have it. All right, let's look at the last one that was asked was number 10. Let's look at that one. It says write the equation of the line that passes through the point 1/2 and -2/7. Through 1/2 and -2/7. And is perpendicular to 7x minus 14y equals 1. So we did one, what was it, problem 7, where we had parallel lines. Now we have perpendicular lines. To be perpendicular to this line, that is to say I have this slope inverted and negated. So it's the negative inverse of this slope. That is the slope of my line that I want to create. So I want to find the slope of this line here. Let's work that out. That means we're going to solve for y. So I'll subtract 7x from both sides. That's negative 14y equals negative 7x plus the 1. And then I divide everything by negative 14. Leaving me with a y on the left-hand side. The negatives cancel out here. 7 and 14 simplify to 1 and 2. I'm just going to push my x to the right, get it out of the fraction. And then this is minus 1/14, but I don't care what that is. I'm not going to use it. It's not going to be part of my new line. It's a horrific number. I don't care about it, right? All I care about is this number here. The slope of the line I'm parallel to is 1/2, or sorry, perpendicular to is 1/2, which means my slope is this flipped and negated. And so the slope that I want is negative 2/1 or negative 2. That's the slope that I want for my line. Which means that I'm going to have y equals mx plus k, or sorry, plus b, my bad, where I know m is negative 2. And again, I've turned this into problem 5 again, right? And that's the whole idea whenever you have one of these problems is turn it into that problem 5, the very first one that we did. Get a slope, figure out your intercept, right? I have my slope. I'm going to take this kind of ugly point, plug it in for my x and y values, and figure out my intercept. So y is negative 2/7. X is 1/2. Then I just have to solve for b. So negative 2/7 equals, the 2 and the 2 cancel, but the negative goes to negative 1 plus b. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides, but instead of adding 1, I'm just going to add this in the form of 7/7, because that's 1. And then I have 7/7 plus negative 2/7, that's 5/7. And that's my b. Is that too low? Hopefully you can see that. It looks like I'm at the edge of my screen here. But that's it. Then the equation is y equals m, which was negative 2, x plus b, which is positive 5/7, so plus 5/7, and that's our solution. Okay, good. In this one, I haven't been reading this far into the questions, but they also ask us to put this into standard form. So let me backtrack. All right, good. This is the only one they've asked us so far. So they want us to put it into standard form. This is my slope-intercept form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c, right? So you get the x term over here, and then you get rid of all of your fractions, and then of course you would make your a positive, right? So a, b, and c are integers, right? Positive or negative whole numbers, right? We want to get rid of fractions altogether. And then a is positive. Right? And then the last condition is that a, b, and c are relatively prime. And that just means that a, b, and c, the greatest common factor of those would be 1. So that, like if a was 2, b was 4, and c was 6, you would divide everything by a 2 to reduce it as much as you can, right? So let's turn this into, I'm going to erase this here, let's turn this into standard form. And that'll be the last part of problem 10. All right. So I've got this y equals negative 2x. Let's go, I don't know, blue. Plus 5/7. So the first thing I want is this x term to the left, so I'm going to add 2x to both sides. So that is then 2x plus y equals 5/7. I want to make sure that a, b, and c are integers. So that is to say, get rid of this fraction. So I'm going to multiply everything by 7. So I multiply the left-hand side by 7. That gets distributed through. And then I multiply the right hand by 7 specifically to eliminate that denominator here. On the right-hand side, then I just have a 5. It's an integer. That's good. Left-hand side, I have 14x plus 7y. 14 and 7 can be simplified together, but not with that 5 over here. So this is it. I'd have to be able to simplify all 3 in order to do so. That's it. That's my answer in standard form. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. I will see you guys next time for the Chapter 1 review discussion.